Today we will learn what a function is. We define a function as a mathematical rule which assigns to each input value an output value. The set of all input values is called the domain, and the set of all output values is called the range. As an example, let's look at the following table giving the city of Holyoke's population from 2000 to 2008. We would say that the population is a function of time. For different years, we have different populations. The domain is all of the years that we input: 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, and 2008. The range is the set of all populations. Let's look at another way to represent our function. We can also represent this function with a graph. For each pair of values, input and output, we get a point on the graph. Each point represents the year and the population in that year. It is worth noting that tables and graphs will prove to be an extremely useful way to understand functions throughout this course. This is because applications often arise from collected data without having an equation to guide us. Tables and graphs will act as that guide. If we're fortunate enough to be able to find an equation for our function in an application, it is called a mathematical model. Let's look at an example. Suppose that gas costs us $3.55 per gallon. The cost to fill our gas tank is a function of how many gallons are needed. To understand this function, let's first look at our variables. One number that can change is the number of gallons of gas we purchase. Let's call this variable g. The other value that is varying is the cost. This depends on the number of gallons we purchase. So we write c of g to mean that cost is a function of the number of gallons. C of g equals the number of dollars we spend on the gas. Since we spend $3.55 per gallon, the cost is $3.55 times g. The equation of the function, along with the definition of variables g and c of g, make up our mathematical model. Let's continue our example. How much does it cost to purchase 10 gallons of gas? To find the solution, we need to look at our knowns and unknowns. We know that g equals 10 because we are purchasing 10 gallons of gas. The phrase, how much does it cost, is asking, what is c? C of 10, or the cost to purchase 10 gallons of gas, is $3.55 times 10, or $35.50. So the answer to our question is the cost to purchase 10 gallons of gas is $35.50. We can represent this in both words and as the mathematical statement c of 10 equals $35.50. We would say that c of g is an increasing function because the amount we spend on gas increases as the amount of gas we buy increases. In other words, we would say that c of g is an increasing function because c of g increases as g increases. We use this idea to define what it means for a function to be increasing. We say a function y equals f of x is an increasing function if y increases as x increases. Similarly, we say a function y equals f of x is a decreasing function if y decreases as x increases. Notice both of these definitions involve x increasing. That is, as we move to the right on the graph.